Welcome to the WDW Fan Zone Show. I am Stuart Sternberg, and tonight I am joined by John Maloney, Kurt, and Darlene Nagy. And we're going to fill in the gaps at Walt Disney World, in the parks, that is. We're going to look at attractions that are closed. We're going to look at buildings that might be empty. Maybe there's a storefront around, a little alleyway with an empty space in a building, and we're going to fill in the gaps and help Walt Disney become a bigger place for the rest of us, even though they won't spend the money right now to do anything with it. But that's another story. We were talking about something different before the show. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Words can't describe it.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've been the last couple of days. I've been doing a lot of research on something on a personal matter, and it just reminded me of the days when I was working, like how much effort it takes to just get some simple information. Sometimes it just is at your fingertips. Other times it's hard work, but it pays off in the end. Anyway, speaking of paying off in the end, let's go through the gaps at Walt Disney World. Let's start at the Magic Kingdom, because I don't think there are too many gaps in there that we'll find.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah, Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland, where you have where Stitch's Great Escape was.
Yes.
And that's really it in Tomorrowland. Unless I'm missing something.
Are they using that Tomorrowland stage very much?
Yes. I don't know very much. They are using it
occasionally for parties.
I've seen characters on there.
Characters there. Now, do they use that more like during the holidays and the very Merry Christmas parties, or it seems that they could get more entertainment use out of that stage.
There's no shade there, though. That's the problem.
That's the issue.
Right. But, so you can change that, or you can do things at night. You could have nighttime only shows.
Could. What would you suggest they do there? And we're going to count this as a gap.
As a gap. Well, it's something that has to kind of fit into the Tomorrowland-ish theme, and or even as a retro Tomorrow theme. So I think maybe something like an Incredible show.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's some good music. Kids, they've had dance shows there before, and they seem to draw people in, especially kids.
So I like your idea about the nighttime show. They can continue with the meet and greets during the day, and at night have a special show. Maybe as a prelude to the fireworks show.
Yeah. Is that, if people congregate in front of the stage, does that become a traffic flow problem at all for getting to Space Mountain?
Have you been to Disney World lately? There's already a problem with space now with the crowds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Does that exacerbate things at all if you would get a big gathering there?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's far enough off to the side.
Okay.
Maybe a problem getting to and from the bathrooms, but that's about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in Disneyland, isn't there something similar where they have a Star Wars show at night? In one of their areas there, I think there's a Star Wars show at night, or there was a few years ago. But I'm not positive of that. But yeah, I think an Incredibles show there at night would be great. Absolutely great. So since we already mentioned, let's go to Stitch's Great Escape.
I think they should put in some kind of a Big Hero 6 show in there. I don't know how, but I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Have they not kind of put Big Hero at Hollywood Studios, though?
Not that I'm aware of.
Just a character meet and greet.
Yeah.
And they had his blow up there, too.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, nothing permanent. And nothing, that would be an attraction or a show. Just small fill-in items. I mean, nothing certainly like they're going to do out at California Adventure.
Yep.
With San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, I think that would be a great thing to put in that space there. You know, anything but Stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think of a nice Easter egg they need to put somewhere. Either looking down into that area since there's nothing there right now, or where the old stage used to be that I think became cast member parking behind Carousel of Progress. A nice Easter egg would be something opened up in there with just a ton of debris and Wally in there cleaning it up. Because they can't have a meet and greet with Wally because he's too big and he rolls people over, and that's too much of a lawsuit thing. So that's why they don't have Wally rolling around. But if you could peek in and see Wally at work, I think that would be hysterical.
Yeah. Well, Wally is one of the properties that I think would be interesting to work into Tomorrowland,
right,
in the right way. And I mean, maybe there's something you could do even with Stitch's Great Escape.
Right. Exactly. That's a good one.
It's I mean, I don't have an Imagineering idea. You know, using the space as it is. I mean, Disney tends to kind of reuse the flow and the seating and the layout the way it already is. So when it went from, you know, Mission to the Moon to Mars to Extraterrestrial to Stitch's Great Escape, they all have that central point where everybody's
in the round
in the middle.
Right.
So it would most likely be something that would have to follow kind of that progression, and then have something that happens with that focus there at the end.
Yeah.
I know there was talk about Sugar Rush in there.
Oh yeah. But I think
nothing
Sugar
permanent.
Rush would go better in the Tomorrowland
Oh,
Speedway,
absolutely.
redesigning that.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah.
Not that we're doing redesigns, but
Yeah, well, but yeah. Well, but they certainly have to think about that. So are they going to do something to change something else in Tomorrowland or another park? You know, where are they going to use a property? And they don't want it to be disconnected or disjoint or conflicting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, all good ideas. Is there any other section of the Magic Kingdom that you can think of that's sitting idle that could use something, a little boost?
I had an area, but I just don't know what the current status is. What's going on with the shooting arcade, the Frontier Shooting Arcade?
Yeah, you know, that it's crazy because they closed that down, what was it, about a month or so ago? And, you know, they didn't have a date when it would be reopening. So I don't know if that's gone or if they need to make some changes there, you know, give it a little update. They just haven't gotten around to it.
It certainly could use a technology update, you know, to have maybe better movement of the rifles and have better technology for the shooting arcade part of it. But it's not big, certainly.
No, it's not a big space. I don't know if they're thinking about making some kind of change. Or I don't know what they could possibly put there because it's got to fit the theming of Frontierland.
Right.
Are they shutting it down just the simple fact that it's shooting?
You know what? I thought of that immediately when I saw that it wasn't on the calendar after a certain date. I just don't know.
They just don't want to be promoting shooting.
Well, right. But if you did something along the lines of Toy Story Midway Mania and put it as a Frontierland theme, but more of one of those kind of games where it's a pop gun or you're pulling a string or something more along the lines of what happens in the Midway Mania.
Like a dart gun with 3D glasses or something like that on?
Well, yeah. It doesn't have to be. I mean, if they're concerned about rifles, it doesn't have to be a rifle. It could be something else, and still be a game. You know, people can come and go quickly and fit the Frontier theme.
Well, it could be instead of a gun, they can, you know, have a beanbag that you could throw at certain targets and you hit it, it goes down. If it's the shooting that they're concerned with.
Right. Yeah.
But it could be violence in general, and no matter what you put there, it's going to be knocking something down.
Well, yeah, but like Midway Mania, you're popping balloons, or
Yeah.
you've got a slingshot, or you've got
Ring toss.
ring toss, or little rubber balls or whatever. But they're all digital, using the latest technology, and maybe, like you say, that's an opportunity to use augmented reality.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some physical props in the back, but then you don some pair of glasses and it overlays digital images on top of it and the digital action on top of it. But you'd have to be able to go in and out, though, relatively quickly. You don't want to have to suit somebody up and teach them how to use it all the time.
Yeah, it would have to be.
That's the problem.
Right. It would have to be, you're here for a couple of seconds, gone next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I was thinking about that. If you're doing virtual reality, you could literally have them lassoing and trying to catch something and pull it. Virtual reality, that would work great, except now you got to teach everyone how to do it. Fitting, cleaning constantly.
Yeah.
That's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if you see a DVC stand.
There is a DVC stand right next to it.
Well, maybe they're going to move it over there. Who knows?
Well, they could put a DVC model property in there, so you have a door and they take you in and show you what a property looks like.
And they don't
Wilderness Lodge.
They don't let you leave until you sign up.
They're really good about that. They don't.
That's
force
not true. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I know they are good about that. All right, let's see. Main Street by Tony's Town Square. They were supposed to put a theater over there.
Well, on the back street, right?
Yeah. I say let's go back to that original plan and put that theater there.
They had a theater in there.
No, he's talking about behind
the
building.
Yeah.
But even inside of there was a theater in there. And there was a nice place to go in and just relax and watch some cartoons. And they got rid of it for the meet and greets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they had the cartoons.
Well, and that could certainly help them with their traffic flow.
Absolutely.
If they had two main thoroughfares, either in and out or both directions. They use that sometimes when they're trying to empty the park, and they actually open that up. So if they had another street back there, it gives them more opportunities for merchandise, for possibly another restaurant. If they don't do the theater, I would have loved to have had a nice show like they've got the Hyperion Theater in Disneyland.
Oh, yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. You do a Frozen show.
I would have loved to have had a theater like that. But even if they don't do a theater, they could do so much more and use that space, to your point.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see the theater there, though. And the theater would be a great people eater.
Sure. Yeah, there had to be a reason why they stepped away from that.
Money. They didn't want to spend it.
It's backspace it's backstage, so they needed it for backstage stuff. That's why they got rid of the theater that's over in Tomorrowland and put the one on next to the washrooms. They needed that area for parking.
And they use that backflow area to exit people out.
Yeah, John mentioned that.
For the parties. Yeah.
Both sides they use, because I've been behind the Emporium.
Oh, have you? I've never come that way.
Yeah, I've been behind the Emporium. The double-decker bus was back there at the time.
That works so well in Disneyland Paris because they have an arcade on either side. And you can go into the shops from either direction, either from the main thoroughfare or from the side arcade thoroughfares.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a good thing for them to do, too, if they could fit it in somehow.
Right. I agree with Kurt. The space is certainly an issue. It wasn't necessarily designed for that. Disneyland Paris, it was built into the design.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably because of what they were finding.
Oh, yeah.
They the Magic Kingdom.
Learned. Right.
All right. Any other place you guys can think of in Magic Kingdom that we haven't mentioned yet?
Not really.
I don't.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else in Magic Kingdom.
No.
Let's move over to Epcot.
Plenty there.
Yeah, there is plenty
Yeah.
there. Unfortunately, there's plenty there.
Plenty of opportunity.
The Imagination Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot there.
And I'm not talking about the attraction there. I'm talking about the theater there. You know, I always thought that would be a great place to do some kind of, we mentioned Wall-E before, a Wall-E type of show in there, you know, a short little movie or something new with the Muppets. You know, there's so much you could do in there. It doesn't have to be, you could do something Marvel in there too.
They've got the 4D technology back there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that would be perfect for something Marvel, but from the new
and you know what?
from the new stuff.
Yep. They're trying to build up their streaming service even more than it already is. Why not take something that ties in, put a show there that ties in with Disney Plus, and you know that will get people excited to see it, that subscribe to it. Maybe get people that haven't subscribed to it excited to subscribe.
Well, they did that at Disney Hollywood Studios in One Man's Dream, the theater at the end. We were not going to go and see The Lion King when that came. What was that, 94 when that came out? And they showed the first 5 minutes of that movie. And when we saw that, we're like, okay, we're hooked. We need to go see this movie.
Yep. Yeah, they could do something like that. Remember when Narnia was over there?
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent 3D technology, or whatever they were using in there, the holograms.
Oh, they had Captain Jack in there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
A whole very different kind of show.
Yes. Anyway, back to Epcot. Let's stay in the front end of the park before we move to the back end.
Well, just one additional point about the Imagination Pavilion. Before they do something with the ImageWorks or with where the Disney Pixar short film is now, where Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and
Captain EO.
Captain EO, thank you, Kurt. Where they used to be, they really need to make sense of what is the main attraction going to be there. What is going to become of, Journey into Imagination, Figment's Journey into Imagination, whatever the attraction's current name is anymore. They really have to. I think they have to make sense of what is the central focal point of that pavilion.
Yeah, I think you're right. Whatever they decide the central focal point is, then the attraction or the theater could follow.
Is it going to be Figment? Is it going to?
Isn't it imagination? Like using your imagination, and Figment's part of our imagination. They could retheme it however they want. They just need to leave Figment in there, or there's going to be major outcry. Give him his own, not Eric Styles with Figment. Or Eric Idle. I'm sorry, with Figment. It needs to be some kind of a Figment attraction. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm not an imaginator.
They really need to make some movement there so that the rest of it can fall into place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I completely agree with you guys on that.
But I don't want to lose my Disney Vacation Club lounge. If they take it out of there, maybe move it somewhere else, please. That's my cooling off area, and give me a free Coca-Cola drink.
I don't think they need to put something there, though. So long as they have a set of stairs and an elevator to get there, it's not like you're going to put a restaurant up there. There's not enough space to put anything but a lounge up there.
There's a whole area in the back that used to be there's the tunnel, the rainbow tunnel still back there, and everything else.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean on the lower floor. The lower floor.
Oh.
I'm talking about upstairs in the DVC lounge.
Yeah, upstairs in the DVC lounge. That's where that tunnel was.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to do a restaurant up there anyways because you don't have lavatory services, or they don't have a lot of running water in that up there.
True.
They can always put that in. It's Disney.
Running piping like that, you got to run piping and stuff.
I think there could be a fire hazard there because the access to get up and down from there may not accommodate all the people.
You don't want to have too many.
Correct, yeah. It'd be a very small restaurant, if anything.
Yeah.
It would have to be a signature with small table sizes and stuff.
Yeah.
because that footprint's not big enough.
Yep, I agree. Let's see. So we talked about the Imagination Pavilion. Oh,
Wonders of
how
Life.
about they just canceled something at Disney? There was supposed to be what was that? I can't think. Well, I don't know. I'm losing my mind. I can't think of the name of the pavilion where Body Wars was.
Wonders of Life Pavilion.
Wonders of Life. Yeah,
Play.
it was supposed to have
Play
playtime. It was supposed to be like an interactive pavilion that
Yeah,
was
the play
turn.
pavilion.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not happening.
Right. So that's a big hole.
Yep, that is a big hole. So what do we do there? Do you like the idea of the interactive play area they were going to do, or do you want to see an attraction there, or Body Wars come back?
I was thinking that I like how the original Wonders of Life Pavilion had different things going on.
Yep.
It had a theater, it had an attraction, it had interactive things, it had some food. So I like that kind of combination of things. But the theme, it's got to be a theme that's not already in. Well, so what part of Epcot is that going to be? World Discovery?
I don't know.
I think that's
I
part of
think
World
so.
Discovery.
Yeah.
But I definitely think they can, because Disney owns National Geographic now.
Mhm.
Or, I think they could put something in there that, something that would be very environmentally friendly, and that could promote National Geographic, because how many of us here watch National Geographic Channel on a regular basis?
My wife does, so I guess I do.
Occasionally, yeah.
I don't think that's
it's like
the
once in a
place
blue
to
moon.
do that, though. I think that's more something you're to find at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the animals. I'm talking about just the environment, because that would go with.
So it's World Discovery.
Yeah.
So if you had, Wonders of Our World or something like that,
Mhm.
I think that it could fit, and it wouldn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to just be animals. It could be volcanoes. It could be deep sea. It could be whatever.
Wall climbing. Don't fall.
And lend itself to interactive things. I think, Stuart, if you went the National Geographic theming,
they could put you in one of those simulators and have you deep sea dive. You could be in a shark tank. They're not going to do that. Don't worry.
Well, that would be like back when they used to have the hydrolators, and someone said they got the bends.
Yeah, that's funny. Let's see. Where else in the problem with Future World right now is it is going through a transformation, so there are a lot of walls up.
I don't remember what I was going to say. So I don't remember what's behind the walls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So let's not include anything that's not there now.
Right.
Yeah, till Moana fills in the middle there, we don't even know if there are any gaps left.
Right.
Right. This is true.
Yeah, so I guess we could head over to tomorrow to
Future World.
World Showcase.
World Showcase.
Yeah.
The biggest spot is at Millennial Pavilion.
Yeah.
World Showplace.
Morocco.
That's right. Morocco. There's the World Showplace. There's the Odyssey.
Odyssey. The Outpost, they've never fully realized anything there.
Yep. Yeah, that could, it serves a purpose, but if it went tomorrow for something better, I'd be okay with it.
Well, aren't they doing construction outside there? The last that I saw on a Google photo or Google Maps, they look like there was construction going on outside, before you get to the highway, but outside of the Outpost there.
That's where they're behind there is where they do all the storing. They used to store all the barges were back there. That's why that's all like storage area back there.
Well, we know Harmonious is going away, and temporarily,
In flames.
we're getting what was that Epcot
Forever.
Epcot Forever
Yeah.
back.
Have they
Yes.
announced that that's what the fill-in will be?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
but they haven't said what's going to come after that yet.
Or when it's going to start?
It's going to start for the 100th, the 100th being the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. It's going to start sometime in March.
Was it March 3rd was the when everything's going away?
I believe
don't know
so.
the exact
I
date.
think.
So December is still going to be Harmonious.
Yes.
Okay. Because
So-
I have tickets to a Harmonious dessert party in the beginning of December before the cruise.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I'd say 2 tickets to Paradise, but I don't know.
All right. So one of you guys pick one of the locations we mentioned, and we'll go from there.
Morocco.
Okay.
Some kind of an Indiana Jones dig site. It's got the perfect theming for it.
Oh boy, I'd like to see another country. You're right, but I'd like to see another country come in.
I would like to see another country too.
I would too, except for that again, they want to retheme everything that's already there. It's got the perfect theming to just gut out something and do some
This
kind of
is
a dig
true.
site in there.
Well,
Well, you could
where's the gap that you're thinking in Morocco?
All of it.
the whole thing.
The whole thing. That's the gap. All of
I'm with
Morocco's
Kurt
a
on
gap.
that.
There's nothing there right now.
I think Morocco's
You
got.
mean in the back part of the pavilion? There's no shops necessarily, or
There's nothing right now. There's a table that a couple people like to go and use when they need a quiet area for typing, and we're using the computer. But there's nothing in Morocco right now. So I don't know. Is the restaurant open again? Because I
Yes.
know that wasn't even open.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Tangerine Cafe. Is that open, Darlene? I'm not sure.
I don't
it
think
is.
so. I haven't been in Epcot in a while though.
I have, but I haven't paid attention to what's going on
Yeah.
there. I think the restaurant is closed also, but I wouldn't bet my life on it because
I
it's not a
believe it is,
restaurant.
too.
you mean the
would go
restaurant
back
America?
to. Yeah, right. I would turn that into another. Greece would be my top choice because you wouldn't have to. You could work around with what they have. It wouldn't be a total demolish and rebuild, or another Middle East country. A dig would be fine if they could fit it into the theming of whatever they put there. I would want a new country, new restaurant. I'd want new shops there.
Oh yeah.
What's going on that everything is closed there?
Well, the Moroccan government wasn't paying Disney their fees, so Disney took it over.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just shut it down.
Yeah, basically. Well, COVID also came along and said,
COVID, and then they just said, "Oh, yeah, we can't reopen this area." It just
It does look like it is open. The Tangerine Cafe.
Okay, I thought it could be, but I wasn't positive.
It
the
looks like
restaurant
it's
that's
open
still
it's going to open up at 11 a.m. So maybe that's why we just haven't seen it. Like
Yeah.
if we go through.
Yeah.
But some type of Indiana Jones dig site. I have no idea what we're looking. Ancient archaeology stuff.
Don't they have the Boneyard in Animal Kingdom?
Yeah, but I don't want to look for dinosaurs. I want to look for
Artifacts.
Yeah.
Artifacts.
Is Spice Road Table open?
Yes.
And what about the shops that are on the lagoon side?
They are open.
Shops,
yes.
yeah, the shops reopened.
And they have the musician. I think there was a musician there too at some point.
Yeah,
walking around. I can't remember. They're not there all the time.
No, and that's one of the area of the park. I'll be honest, I walk by quickly because there's nothing there that grabs my attention to make me want to spend more time in the area. And I can't say that about much of anything else in World Showcase. In World Showcase, I do like to take my time and stop and look around. Even though I don't like Nine Dragons, the restaurant in China, I do like the entire pavilion, well, most of the pavilion, and going through the shop there.
Yeah,
and seeing a show.
Tangerine Cafe looks like it's like quick food restaurant, to be honest with you.
It's counter service.
Yeah, it is.
And Marrakesh was the sit down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, Spice Road is still open. The Oasis is still open. And of course, I think that's the alcohol. Oh no, that's Greek. The Greece marketplace is still over there. So like you said, you could convert it to Greece.
Yeah,
Greece
but
is the
Oh
word.
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Or
Greece
you
is
know,
the
how
word.
about Dubai? Dubai's got the money to pay for.
Oh
whatever
yeah.
you need.
Is there
And-
anything political going on with Dubai though?
I have no idea.
I'm just tossing it out there.
No clue. I don't even know what's going on in my own state with the governor's race.
Okay, moving
I
right
haven't paid
along.
any attention to it.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right. So, where else do we met? The
The
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yeah. The Odyssey. I'd love to see some kind of like walk through, not attraction, but something where you could walk through and see something that's interactive, an interactive thing where you walk through to get to a restaurant and put a restaurant in there. Not that we need another restaurant there,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's big enough to, or in a good place where you could put an attraction to handle a queue.
No, it'd have to be like what it was, where it's more of a like a preview center.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly a good place to cool off too.
Yes, it is.
Right.
So
And they
So-
do serve food in that, like little snacky type things.
Yeah, but you know, I'd like to see more of a different kind of restaurant come in there, but have like an interactive area where you could walk through, get to see something, even if it's a preview of what's to come somewhere else within the Disney company. Do a Marvel themed.
They have to. Well, they can't expand too far on that Marvel.
No, they
I
can't.
guess they could do Miss Marvel.
They could do the Avengers.
No, that's what they can't do.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And
You're
not,
right.
not a good number of them anyway.
Yeah.
No. Or well, they could do the newer ones that they're bringing out. Something with one of the newer characters, like what was the newest one that they just did that they released besides Miss Marvel? But that would be good for teens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, She-Hulk was
yeah.
the latest.
Yeah,
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Series.
And then the movie before that was
Well, Moon Knight was another recent one.
Moon Knight.
That was
Moon Knight. I was not a fan of
Yeah.
Moon Knight.
no,
I actually liked Moonlight. They could do Moonlight over in. Oh, there you go. They use that in Morocco.
Yeah.
Why not?
No.
I love Moon Knight.
I enjoyed it.
I was not a fan. Now, She-Hulk, I really liked until the last episode.
That was.
All right, darling. I
Let's
won't give
just say
anything
that
away.
was weird.
I won't give
it
anything
was
away. I just think
just
it
weird.
took a turn in a direction I didn't expect.
Do they have access to Doctor Strange? I mean, they could do so much with
They
Doctor
should.
Strange.
They should, but I don't know if they actually do.
Doctor Strange would be amazing.
Because you could put that almost. I mean, Doctor Strange could be over there where Stitcher's Great Escape is, or even in the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
Just with all the 3D effect, just make sure you got protein spillage bags, because that's going to be psychedelic of some of that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be amazing if they would do that, because I love Doctor Strange.
Yeah. All right. There was another place in World Showcase.
We talked about Wonders of Life, Odyssey,
Millennium Village.
Place. Yeah.
Millennium Village.
Actually, too, the Outpost we didn't mention, Millennium Village. Yeah.
Well, the Millennium Village, they kind of do use
For
for
events.
all the food and the events and
They
everything.
do, but they didn't use it for food and wine this time.
No, they didn't.
They used it in the spring when we were there.
I know they
for the
used it
art
for
festival.
flower and garden. I'm wondering if it's because they didn't have anybody to entertain inside.
Could
They
There
be.
wasn't
normally
entertainment hours
put-
there. It was just good food.
Don't they put Carol in there, the pianist?
I didn't see her. I just saw food.
I've
Yeah.
seen a pianist
Sweden
in there before. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe they just didn't have anybody, so they figured they didn't need to.
Who knows? Or maybe they're cutting back or
Yeah, they
didn't
don't have enough
staff for it.
staff to work back there.
Yeah. Because
Festival
I
of the
noticed
Arts
they put up
is big.
more kiosks for like merchandise outside instead of doing the whole thing on the interior like they do.
Such a
Yeah.
nice place to go and sit and cool off and
Right.
take
Right.
your food back there and sit down if you can get
Right.
people as compared to standing around the.
Anyway, it's a gap. How are you going to fill it?
Yeah.
You know what? You could put another attraction. You can put a country in there. You could put an attraction.
Australia. Well,
Yeah.
the outpost area could be Australia too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could. You could definitely do that. Put a country there. Put an attraction there. There's a lot you could do in that area.
What we need somebody from Disney to go and do what Walt and his team and Roy and his team did years ago and get countries to come in and sponsor.
It's a different world.
It's a different, right? I was just going to say that. We're living in different times.
Not a good time to go ask another country to spend money right now with
Now, you might be able to get a foreign corporation to sponsor their country. And that might be the direction they should go in. Rather than going to the country, go to, a foreign entity that has big business in a particular country and see if they would be willing to sponsor it.
Mm-hmm.
If they're trying to expand here, there's a lot they could do with that. Whether they would be successful with that, I'm not a businessman. I don't know.
The problem is it's Oriental Land Company, and we've got all those pavilions.
Well, no.
So, because Oriental Land, that's who put like Hong Kong Disneyland, and wasn't that, or was that Disney over in Japan? Which one is that? Tokyo Disney?
Yeah.
Oriental Holding Company, the Oriental Land Company.
Well, what about them?
They're the ones with the money that want to spend that love Disney, but the problem is they're over there; they're not over here.
Right.
And
right, but there are
need
other
to come over here.
There are other mega big corporations around the world that don't come from,
in
China,
India.
Japan,
India's got some big companies.
Yep. Germany.
There's some oil barons around.
Volkswagen.
We already have a Germany pavilion.
Yeah, we already have one.
Yes, we do. And the government of Germany has been kind enough to sponsor that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, there are big companies out there in other countries that we just, we might not have heard of them. Sweden. I know there's Norway.
There's some big countries there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Spain has a handful.
How about Greenland? We could have a big block of ice out over to the cool off.
Yeah. Or we could have Ireland come in and just have like a...
Oh, boy, here we go.
A brewery. Have Ireland put a brewery.
Well, we got United Kingdom. It's right there.
Yeah. $20 for a mug of beer. All right. I think we can move on to another park now, unless there's another area that you guys wanted to mention that I didn't think of.
Nope.
No.
All right. Let's go to let's go to Hollywood Studios.
The whole animation courtyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
they did bring back the character meet and greets there.
Let's get rid of them from there.
Cars Land.
Little Mermaid.
Cars Land.
We're not going to get Cars Land.
It doesn't have to be the attraction. It doesn't have to be the cars. Any other thing that are in there. I mean, I'd love some of those foods. The cozy cone.
Oh yeah, the cozy cones. Yeah. Now, what would you do with the Little Mermaid attraction? That's just sitting.
I think,
Yeah, are they reopening that, or have we heard?
I haven't heard a thing.
anything about
My
it.
guess is it's not coming back.
Yeah. My thought is that courtyard area where the animation courtyard, including the Little Mermaid, would be a good spot to have a Marvel mini land for the Marvel characters that Disney can use on the East Coast.
Okay, great idea, but let me make it a little more difficult just for a brief moment.
Okay.
You can't change the footprint. Or by that I mean you can't put something in the middle of the courtyard. You have to deal with the existing buildings.
Yeah, I agree. So they've already used that big show building in there to do a lot of different things, like getting ready for Star Wars before they had Galaxy's Edge. So there's a lot of space in that show building that you could do multiple things.
Yeah,
it could be meet and greets. It could be a show or a simpler attraction. So I think there's a lot you could do in there. You can certainly repurpose the Little Mermaid to have a different kind of show, whether it's, so you talked, Darlene, before about Doctor Strange, and when we were on the Marvel Day at Sea cruise, they had a fun Doctor Strange show in the Walt Disney Theater.
Yes.
That, that kind of show went over very well and people enjoyed it. There were a number of different kinds of shows that they did on that Marvel Day at Sea cruise.
Yeah, that would be perfect for that area. Yeah.
Now I don't know what the licensing is for Doctor Strange. So
I don't either.
Limitations on which characters they can use,
right?
But they've already gone into more and more characters, and I'm sure that there are plenty of characters as they're expanding and going into new movies, into new limited series, that they're going to have plenty of characters with which they can work to use here on the East Coast.
Yeah, because they can't put in the play, the Captain American All-American Hero.
No.
That's just not going to fit there. Sorry, we can't use them.
I could do this all day.
Even the Black Panther is one that we could use. Could we use Wanda? Do something with WandaVision?
I don't know my sense is that it might be, but I don't know which characters are covered by the license.
Right. We don't know which. Right.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would do is get something new where the Little Mermaid was. Now, is it possible they're waiting for the movie to come out?
Change things up in there?
Yeah, maybe they're waiting for that and then change things to fit the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I can only tell you that an unsubstantiated rumor I heard from a reliable source was that it wasn't coming back.
That's what I had heard, was that it just was not coming back. I don't even remember where I read it.
I got it from somebody over there.
Yeah, that show went so far beyond its original intended stay there. It really had a lot more staying power than they predicted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, but I just hate seeing wasted space.
Yep. Well, that's the whole discussion about gaps.
Yeah.
And how about right outside the courtyard on the other side? If it's still there. Wait, no, I'm thinking of someplace else. Never mind. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But where Sounds Dangerous.
Well, they got the movie in there now.
Yeah, but next to it is where they have that DVC.
Next to it is Frozen.
They
do a meet and greet on the backside.
No, they were in the same. There was that long building where they had Sounds Dangerous.
Sounds Dangerous is attached to the Frozen.
Superstar Television.
Superstar Television is where Frozen is.
Right. Oh, okay. So I'm thinking of the wrong place then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they brought back all the characters for the meet and greets for Star Wars back in there.
You know, again, let's just do a Deadpool over there in the animation area for the kids. Bring Deadpool in for the kiddies. They love Deadpool.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Deadpool?
Who doesn't love Deadpool?
I would know who would love Deadpool, Stuart. And
Who?
you can take this and do another little spiel for our sponsor.
Oh, Becky?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Becky is a big Deadpool fan. Why? I don't know her. Deadpool's great. And since you mentioned Mouse Fan Travel, you know what? Whenever you go into Walt Disney World or Disneyland, if you're not going with Mouse Fan Travel, you're not having the best time you can have. You want the best time you can have, the best vacation you can have. There's only one place to go, and that's Mouse Fan Travel. They can help you with a Disneyland vacation, an Adventure by Disney, a Disney cruise, or Disney World. And if you're not happy going to Disney and you want to go someplace non-Disney, they can help you there too. They do it all when it comes to planning the best vacation you've ever had. And if you had a great vacation with them once, you can have an even better vacation with them the next time. Forget the rest. Stay and go with the best. And that's Mouse Fan Travel. And you can find out all the wonderful, great deals they've got going on right now by going to www.mousefantravel.com. That is www.mousefantravel.com.
She can help you go and see those tell them the zone status. I was going to say, she can help you go and see those characters from Marvel that we can't see at Disney right now. It's some other Universal park. You won't recognize them, but they are over there.
Yeah. Or you can go to Times Square in New York City and you can see the characters there that they can't put in the parks. Of course, they're not licensed Disney or Marvel characters. They're just people looking for a buck.
Pretty much.
Yeah. For those of you who have been to Times Square in New York City and have seen Spider-Man and Mickey walking around, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, golly.
I have.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they have licensing around those likenesses, because if you don't do them well, they do not look good.
Yeah. Let's see, where else is there? Now, we know the courtyard was like the big section that needs something.
Right.
Star Wars Land, you're not going to find any space.
They need more space.
Well, yeah, they need more space, right? Same thing with Toy Story Land. It's filled to the brim. But I can think of a place in the front of the park. Oh no, it's not empty anymore. Sorry, never mind. They put a photo. Sid Schwang's. They put a photo shop there. What were they thinking? Bring back the autographs.
Oh yeah, it is a photo. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's any place else right now that's open.
No, but I can think of something that would make you very unhappy. Get rid of Starbucks.
Oh, the trolley.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, well, that's repurposing. That's not filling a gap.
That's
John
is right. John is absolutely right.
Oh, you know where Starring Rolls Cafe?
Oh, is that still empty?
That's still empty.
Oh,
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
And did they open the next to it, the shop that used to have the villains and other?
Yeah, that's open.
Yes,
that's actually open as the bakery.
But that the bakery, the other bakery though, wasn't it Starring Rolls?
Starring Rolls, yeah, right next.
Yeah.
I thought something else. I thought of like an
no. I sat there. I sat there with our friend Michaela, and there was nothing. There was nothing there. Just seats.
Vacant.
Yeah.
Well, interesting fact. In 2009, that's where I met Lou Mangello.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Lou still has nightmares about that.
Yeah. No, that was, if you listen back to the old podcast, he talks about going on his mancation with some friends, and
yes,
I met them all. We met the whole group.
Wow.
So.
Well, the thing they can bring back, the thing they can fill the gap there with is Starring Rolls.
I know.
Yeah.
Love to have Starring Rolls come back.
Yeah, that would be great.
Me too. The Butterfinger cupcake.
Carrot cake cookie. The original carrot cake cookie.
That was at the writer's stop.
It's just not
But
the
put it in
same now.
Yeah,
just
you
tastes
can move that
different.
over there too.
Yeah.
Carrot cake
But
cookie.
they're
You're right.
not
They
gonna-
need to bring back the original.
They're not going to want to have the competition for the Starbucks on the other side of the street.
No.
Correct.
no.
Yeah.
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 That's
Maybe
probably
a
why it's gone.
maybe a sandwich shop or something.
Earl of Sandwich. I was just I was just in Earl of Sandwich yesterday after we escaped, and I say escaped Animal Kingdom. Boy, it was hot at Animal Kingdom. It was so crowded in Animal Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to
Hottest
talk
place on
about.
property.
I'm sorry.
Hottest place on property. Go back to that argument.
Yeah, there's a lot of hot places on property.
We've had that discussion.
Yeah.
Well, it was 87 degrees here too, so.
Yeah, but I just can't believe, here we are. It's heading towards the end of October. We're not even in Jersey Week yet. We're not even in the Run Disney event yet, and the parks are packed like Christmas.
Well, you know what? It is because it's Halloween this weekend.
I don't think that's it. I think it's a lot of people traveling from overseas for the first time in a couple of years, taking their vacations and coming to Disney World.
Yeah, this is true.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that live here that are still taking their vacation because they haven't been anywhere in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those overseas folks, that's been a pent up demand for quite a while. Some have been, but the big bulk of them hadn't been until. Or do you see more like groups and?
I'll tell you what. We will discuss that on next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yep. Sounds good to me.
Next week we've got a good show planned for you guys. We're going to talk crowds. We're going to talk what we think's coming or not, and we're going to get into all that and more. And it was an idea John presented.
It's your fault, John.
Steal my own thunder.
And maybe we'll even talk about the Disney lawsuit next week if we have time. The Disney World lawsuit. We'll see. We'll stay impartial to it.
Yeah, we don't know how to figure out the Marvel licensing. We'll see what we can do with.
Right, we can't figure that out.
With the
We're going to be able to figure out a lawsuit.
Right? Oh, good gracious.
Yeah.
So what's up next? Do we have anything else at Hollywood Studios?
I don't think so. I think we've kind of exhausted it.
So let's move over to Animal Kingdom.
No. Yes, let's go to Animal Kingdom. Well, where the line is in the Kilimanjaro Safari, there's a space right there. We're not going to repurpose anything in there.
No.
Oh,
There's
boy.
no place to do anything there.
Almost everything's real. I thought of one place right off the bat. And I'm not talking about, forget Dinoland for a second.
Yeah.
Where they had kite tails.
Yeah, and the rivers of light.
Right, because that's going away. What are they going to? What can we put? Oh, it's gone already.
Gone.
Kite tails is gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what else can we put in there? We got Finding Nemo already.
See, I'd like to see them do like a dolphin show. Like put a couple of big pools in there and do a dolphin show.
How about Little Mermaid?
They could do a Little Mermaid show there too. I don't know how they could. Well, if you're going to keep the water there the way, yeah, they could.
Yeah, they
could have a stage on one side.
What you know what I think would work there well, but I don't know how it fits into the theming. Would be a nighttime Encanto show.
Oh,
it has that kind of vibe, but it's not, necessarily connected to the Animal Kingdom.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that if you had that kind of show there, you'd have a lot of people to come to see it for the music and the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't delve into the animals, not directly.
Stuart, you're muted.
Stuart, you're muted.
All right.
You're talking.
Here I go again.
That was a great idea. We have to know what you said, but it was
what
a
I
great
was saying
idea.
is,
Wonderful.
With the Encanto show there, you've got the water in the middle of it. Would you dredge it up? And
you'd have to bring out the the house on a barge.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can certainly use
Mm.
use some kinds of flotation and water-based elements to add to the show. I think you can do that. Disney's done a lot of shows that way. So
Yeah.
You know what
have to
else?
adapt it.
You know what else would have been cool with that is somehow doing something with Tiana and the Bayou,
Yeah.
but
Mulan.
they're what's Mama
Odie.
Odie.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
that
got
would
to dig a
have
little deeper.
been.
Yeah, I could see
It's in
them
the
doing a,
Musha area. You brought up Mulan. That's not a bad idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could definitely see them doing a Mulan type of show there.
Oh yeah, with dragons.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With the dragons and stuff. Yeah, that would work in with the theming.
Yeah.
They could tow them around like they did with kites.
No.
Let's get some dragon kites and have people
Right.
walk around with them.
Mushu kites. Ooh.
All right. Let's go to the other elephant in the room, where our favorite attraction is in the park, Primeval World. That whole area. We know they're going through a transformation there. When I say transformation, I mean they're deconstructing some of the things. That Primeval World has been demolished.
Picnic tables.
Talked about Zootopia Blue Sky, but
Yes. Which we
all
talked
it is.
about, so they must have listened to our show.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, if 1% of those blue sky ideas make it to the park that they mentioned, I'll be shocked.
Right? Oh my gosh.
That was just to appease the D23 members that were that paid tickets to go see the convention.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But it certainly doesn't make sense to invest in just replacing Primeval World until they make a decision about the greater property there of Dinoland.
Yeah, I could definitely see them doing something different in the dinosaur attraction. We're not going to get into that because it's not what the show is.
Yeah,
but I could see whatever that theming is carry over to other parts. Like, how does Nemo fit in with all this? That's another thing. You know, are they going to make it fit in, or are they just going to leave it? It's a great show. Let's keep it here.
Yeah.
That's already been rethemed once too, hasn't it?
Yes.
The Nemo show?
Yes.
Updated
Nemo
the show.
show.
Yeah. Actually, twice.
Is it twice now?
Yeah, I think it's twice now.
Yeah, they've already done Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Now they're going to do Finding Marlin. No, I'm just kidding.
How about
I thought it was Finding
Kermit?
Bruce. Fish are friends, not food.
Let's find Kermit.
We could throw something else in there. I mean, we don't know what the new Pandora movie is going to be all about. We could expand Pandora somehow into there.
Oh, the
They
problem
got a
with
whole
that is-
corner of the park already.
Yeah, and it's on the opposite end of the park. Well, I don't know if it's the opposite end, but it's not in the same area.
It's the opposite side. They can
Yeah,
expand
that's
behind that.
Yeah. So I had another idea for Rivers of Light, and that was to put a Pandora themed show there. And I agree, it's not in Pandora, but it's separate. It could be almost anything.
If it's a show, it would work.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that I'll tell you something. That area has so much seating. You get a good show to go with that seating in there, and you've got a real great people eater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you could keep the park open a little bit later if it's something that isn't going to disturb the animals.
Right.
By animals, I mean Darlene.
So funny.
Is there any place else in Animal Kingdom you can think of?
No, not at this
I don't
current
know.
moment.
Yeah, you know, it's like they're busy reopening things now, so there's not much that's staying closed in that park.
I'm trying to look over at Pandora to see if there's anywhere to expand it for some of the stuff we talked about over there. There's a big lake behind there.
There's not a noticeable gap, certainly.
Yeah.
So,
you know, as we've gone through each park, there aren't a lot of gaps to fill in, but there are some.
And certainly, there's plenty of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if Disney wants to bring more revenue in and accommodate more guests, if they fill the gaps, that might do better toward that end as compared to renovating something or replacing something.
Or a fifth park.
Yeah.
Or fifth park.
Yeah. You know, I think where Disney's going to have to get the move on things is when Epic Universe opens in a couple of years.
Yes.
You know, it's not that they have to respond to Epic Universe, but they have to respond to their guests. When I say guests, their prospective guests. If you want to keep the revenue coming in to Disney and not go to Universal, you're going to have to do something to say, hey, they're doing this, but look what we have here, without saying that. So they've got to show people that are interested in coming to Disney or who've been to Disney to come back. We're adding this, and this is great. So don't go there without saying don't go there. Yeah. Come here. What we have is better.
Yeah, that's certainly another facet of what we can talk about next week as well.
Yep.
You know, marketing and impacts from Universal as well. There's another big elephant we didn't talk about that isn't in one of the parks.
No, go ahead.
And that's the NBA experience down at Disney.
Oh God.
Right.
My neighbors were just talking about that last night. As a matter of fact, they went to all that expense to put the NBA store in there. And how long was it open?
Did it make it a year?
No,
It didn't make it a year.
No.
I mean, I know COVID hit and that did have some effect on it being shut down, but it's just sitting there.
Yeah. And it's huge.
Yep.
Has the new restaurant opened up across the way from that?
I don't know. I don't know. I was in Disney Springs yesterday, but I went to Earl's Sandwich and left.
What sandwich did you get?
I got the original.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry. No, I got the Earl Club. I apologize.
Well, forget it.
Okay.
It's so tall. There's a place here in Chicago called iFly. It's an indoor skydiving.
Right.
Wow.
That would be cool because you could be, well, if we could get Iron Man back, it could be something like Iron Man. You could be, pick your Marvel superhero, pick your any superhero, Big Hero 6, anything from there, where you could just go and do your flying and flipping around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How about bring Quest back? But a better version of it.
I was going to say, update it.
Yeah. It's got to be something where you can get enough people to get the value out of it. And,
right.
And it seems that as if it needs to be a revenue generator too. So it's not just, I don't know if they could pay for it just by having, an admission cost. You need to have things so Disney Quest, you had extra places to spend your money on the different attractions or the different games or whatever, and restaurants and that kind of thing. So that's a tough business model to get the value out of that building.
It is. How many levels are in there? I think there's 3 or 4 levels.
I thought it was 5.
It could be.
I thought it was 3, but okay, maybe.
See, 5. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember how many levels there were to the place. I know there was.
John's looking.
They had machines on one level. They had
5 story.
Bump a car.
Thank you very much.
So
I was there twice.
You do 5 different things on 5 different levels.
Yeah, they had a Cheesecake Factory all the way up on the top, but they had different things on different levels.
No, I never went up that high. Then I guess
you could literally do a virtual park on every level with your merchandise on the bottom floor in your restaurant. You could do a different virtual park on every level.
They could. It's a big enough space they could do a whole heck of a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
It's something they're going to have to figure out. They can't just leave it sitting there. It's just It's valuable real estate.
They could
It
turn
is
it back,
valuable real estate. Yeah.
turn it back into a pleasure island.
You know what I could see them doing?
Bar on
I
every
could
level.
see them opening up a retail mall in there. I could definitely see that happening.
Well, especially, they have to get, the sponsors, the partners, but if they could get the right partners to add to their existing merchandising in Disney Springs, then then they've got a natural way to pay for it too.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I think that's going to do it for us this week. Unless you guys
Can I
have
mention? Well, I want to add that I went to the Fort Wilderness yesterday, and it was absolutely amazing. So if anybody's here and can get there tomorrow to see it, because the weekend they're really not going to let anybody in to see the campsites other than staying guests or guests that have a reservation for dining, because it's going to be way too crowded with just regular campers. But people come and go. It was a wonderful, wonderful tour that I did yesterday. I did it during the daytime and nighttime. You see different things at different points. Being there at night is very great. Everything is not just out of the box. People are very, very creative. And if you get a chance to go for Halloween, I would definitely do it.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything to add on the topic of the show? And I'm kidding, Darlene. That was good news to give our listeners and viewers out there.
Yeah, I feel bad. I didn't realize you couldn't get into the park or into the resort on the weekend. I don't know if you guys all knew that or not. I did not know they check your driver's license and your room reservations via all modes of transportation. So,
all right. Okay, that's going to do it for us. We will be back early next week with another news edition, and later in the week with another regular edition of the show. So until then, everybody have a great weekend. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. And if you scream in the dead of night, don't die of fright, because we'd like to see you here next week. Goodbye, everyone.
happy Halloween. Have a magical night.